Hello everyone, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Today I'm going to talk to you about number 252 of the Catechism with respect to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, but another way of looking at the Trinity from the Church Fathers as far as the designations and the distinctions. And so I've mentioned on a few videos these distinctions, but I think number 252 does another great job of sharing more about that distinction. So let's talk about that distinction and see where it takes us. So here's number 252 of the Catechism. The Church uses, for the first section, the term substance, rendered also at times by essence or nature, to designate the divine being in its unity. And in the second section, the term person or hypostasis to designate the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in the real distinction among them. And the third part, the term relation to designate the fact that their distinction lies in the relationship to each to the others. All right. And so 1, 2, and 3 of 252, it's going about this idea of, okay, substance, person, relation. Okay, so we're looking at first the substance. What makes you and I, right? I'm flesh and bone. I got a soul in my body, right? I got eyes, I got senses, okay? I got the basic biology of a person, right? That is alive, talking to you, animated, trying to share ideas. Okay, I'm thinking about where I stand as far as my beliefs and trying to share a video with you. So for my substance, here I am as a person talking to you at the very basic level of being alive. Now the term person, okay, now we look at the Holy Trinity in this regard, that distinction among the people. Okay, so when we look at the person, okay, yeah, you can see me in this context. You can see me or hear me because you're hearing my voice that, okay, there's a person on the other side of this screen. There's a person that is related to this person and so forth, so forth. And the person themselves is seen by their action. And I kind of alluded back to this in the previous one with 251 of the Catechism, with your actions and your words matching yourself. And so when you are being identified as the person now, okay, you're not just a human being, now you have a name. You have a name, a label on you. Now people know, and they could call you by name. And so now you are by a command, they could call you and say, hey, Mike the MC, can you do another video like this? Hey, Mike the MC, can you post another video? Hey, Mike the MC, that was incorrect. Why don't you talk about this? See, now you can give some sort of question to me. You can start talking to me because you know me by name. You know that this person is alive and he or she is responsive to you. And so that is how we go to that section. Now with the third part of being a relation, right, the fact that the relationship of each to the others, that Holy Trinity now connects to all people. The relationship is between you and I. Okay, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber on a channel that's talking to you. And you can hear my voice. So from me to you, okay, I understand that you are in the audience. You have your own lives to play. You have your own responsibilities to fulfill, and maybe you're doing them well, maybe you're not, I don't know, but at least with my end, I'm trying to, on this side of the screen, share something from my perspective to you that could be, I'm hopefully to inspire you to be truthful, but to also think, okay, if I'm off track, please let me know, because you and I have a relation that is connected to a purpose, and that is the greater purpose of understanding that, okay, with all of this, our relation stands to uphold something. And the relationships that you and I hold with each other, with our husbands, wives, kids, our friends, our enemies even, right? The people in the community, church politics, and government politics, etc., etc. Okay, there's relationships among the community itself. The communities have their own relationships. The countries have their own relationships. The planets, okay. Wow, even planets among themselves, I didn't think I'd get to that far. Animals, if I'm going to go even further, right? There's a relationship of everything to everything, if that makes sense to you. And so now the thing is, when we look at relationships in this regard of the Trinity, okay, the Trinity is really a teacher for us of understanding the whole idea of reality. Person, it is essence, right? Person, then relation. And then when you understand those three concepts with the Trinity, you can see that the Trinity now is alive and is a great teacher for how we can understand reality no matter where you are in the world. Substance, person, relation. Don't forget that. That's why this one is a great video with the Catechism with 252. Just knowing that, okay, these three really guide the idea of understanding nature, to guide and understand what it means to understand reality. And so as a teacher, as a parent, how are you going to teach your kids to understand, okay, like your kids, okay, maybe they're in first grade, I don't know, and then they're making friends with the other kids in the classroom. Okay, you can tell them, okay, you have a name. Okay, that's your name. But you are a person. You are given a name because you're a person, and that's how I call you. But see, if you're making friends now with other kids in your school, okay, that's cool. That's what we call a relationship, right? And as a parent teaching your kids those kind of basic ideas, right, that is a wonderful thing. You're trying to guide your children to understand the basics of reality. And the basics of reality should not be disclosed in a poor way, but more importantly, that you give your best for them to understand the world around them. And then if you are a child on this perspective or young and you're wanting to listen to an adult in some way, fashion, right? Listening to a teacher, someone, you could be a young adult even just trying to listen for the truth. All right, in your relation to the world, who is the teacher that inspires you, that wants you to be a better person? What is it that they emulate that you want in your life, right? Someone who's a student trying to figure out how to move forward in life, trying to figure out what matters to take in for you, right? And so when you figure out these ideas, these answers to your problems, and you're trying to follow forward what has to be said, what has to be done for yourself, what actions you need to take, right, you'll find what has to be accepted in your life, and you will find that you do have an opinion of what matters to you. And so my relationship to you depends on the fact that you are defending what is right to you, defending what you value most importantly, that without you, I cannot do much. And without me, you cannot do much, because we need to grow in our skills and abilities. And so remember that relations with respect to the Trinity and this reality all play a part together. And so throughout all of time, throughout history, no matter where you are, everyone plays their part. And in relation to the Trinity, seeing how it teaches everything is connected in some way, this is a very powerful part of the Catechism that should not be underestimated. So remember that with 252, that the Trinity really speaks volumes to how creation works. All right, everyone, I hope this video finds you well. Understand that you and I have an ability to teach, but that you and I also are not, we're a substance, we're a person, we're given a name, and then we can have a relation with other people. And we can work together in some way or go against each other, and that we have an ability to understand that this relates and connects back to the Trinity, and that the Trinity itself, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, can teach us how reality works in a unique way that is profound. All right, everyone, I hope that number 252 of the Catechism finds you well, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Have a good one.